Hello, everyone, and welcome to Microsoft NextGen Heroes Season 2. This time with the topic of building memory driven bots with Azure AI and Semantic Kernel. So basically, yeah, after a long period of vacation, summer breaks, and all the other stuff that happened like these months, now we are back and ready to continue where we left previously. Now with new forces, with new people, with new faces around our community, and we were stronger than before. We are proudly presenting season 2, and this is our small jubilee. So basically, this is our 12th episode of Microsoft NextGen Heroes. Our guests for today are me and Marco. Unfortunately, we could have been all together. We have some new members here, but you'll have the chance to meet them afterwards. Something about the topic, I would mention that with this topic, it will be a topic that will enable you to um, make innovations, start with something new, think in an AI way, and explore the world of Azure AI and also the process of building AI bots using different Microsoft technologies. So this session will be all about that, and I cannot wait to start this session together with Marco. So before we go on to the content, let's see the agenda of the day. As always, we have the introduction to the hosts, in which me and Marco will introduce ourselves for all of those of you who are with us for the first time, so we can get to know each other better. Then we'll dig into the topic of Microsoft Learn. We have some news for you here, and Marco will be my guest who will explain everything from scratch. Then he will continue with the Azure AI intro, which is something that right now is very popular, and I think it will attract a lot of attention, especially in the tech world. So be careful and listen carefully on this part, because you'll learn everything about the fundamentals and what is exactly Azure AI comprised. Then I'll continue with some deeper topics like Azure AI Search and Semantic Kernel, which are part of Azure AI, in which we'll see how these two technologies can be implemented in various scenarios, in various applications. And finally, the moment that we've all been waiting for will be a demo of a real-world application which was developed by me and Marco, and we'll show you just a small part of it because it's still a work in progress, but that part is exactly this topic that we have for you today. So without further ado, let's get to the introduction. So hello, everyone. My name is Boyan. I'm a recent software engineer graduate, and I'm currently a master's student at Barcelona Technology School. My degree is I'm currently pursuing my degree in AI and big data, and that's exactly why me and Marco have chosen this topic as a starting point for season 2, so that we can explore this world a bit more. Also, not to forget to mention, I'm still a Microsoft Learn student ambassador, and together with our now more powerful team joined with our new member Anna, we're proud to present you Microsoft NextGen Heroes and also the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program, in which we're trying to spread tech vibes everywhere we go and try to share knowledge, share projects that we have made, and proudly present Microsoft in all of this. Some words about my hobbies and the things that I love to do, especially when it comes to my working environment. That is definitely DevOps, Azure, and AI. And definitely the part that I love is automation, in which I try to use it as much as possible because it simply makes my life easier. Okay, so not to waste any more time, I would like to give the floor to Marco so he could make his own introduction and continue with the topic.
Thank you, Boyan. This was a wonderful introduction into the new season. So, hello everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. Firstly, my name is Marco Atanasov, currently pursuing my software engineering degree at Finkis in Skopje, Macedonia. I'm also working as a junior DevOps engineer at Macedonian Telecom right now. And since day one, I quickly found my love for DevOps, and I love building and deploying applications securely to the cloud or on-prem servers. So I'm basically living my dream right now. And I would also like to mention that I love being part of MLSA and Microsoft Zero community because I have made a lot of lasting friendships and have increased and improved my professional life drastically while being part of these communities. I would also like to mention about Microsoft Learn. If you haven't joined our community yet, you can do so at techcommunity.microsoft.com. We are actually part of the Microsoft Hero Learning Room, where we are around 6,000 members in the community. And in my opinion, it's a great chance for you to get involved and to engage with us and with the rest of the community about meaningful topics to you. And all that you need to do is fill out a form and you'll be welcomed automatically into the learning room. So I wouldn't waste any more time, and I would like us to get into the fun stuff quickly. So, Azure AI, what is it? Basically, it's a cloud based artificial intelligence as a service. I like to think about it like that. And all these tools are offered by Microsoft on their cloud, Azure cloud. In more simple terms, instead of building your own AI models from scratch, you can use ready AI models, APIs, or infrastructure to build, train, or deploy your own AI solutions. We today we focus mostly on the pre-built AI services that are included in Azure AI that are useful for us developers. For example, there is computer vision for image recognition and object detection. There is a already built model for speech and audio, speech to text, text to speech, and speaker recognition, which we used in our application. There's also large language models, NLPs, the usual stuff for text analysis, translation, maybe conversation bots, and so on. But you can access all these models through their REST APIs from your application that you're building. And this is what me and Boyan actually did while we were developing our own application. Basically, we now are building a social app and a language learning app combined in one, where all users communicate with each other in the language they want to learn. So when we had this idea, the first thing we knew we needed it was a robust language translation model that supports text and audio translation in real time. So uh, imagine imagine this being a requirement for an application 5 or 6 years ago. It would take us many years to develop that, but now with Azure AI, there's a new world of opportunities open for us developers with wild and crazy ideas. And without it, this project wouldn't have been possible. So actually, here's a photo on the bottom photo on this slide. This is how the speech translation actually works, the ready-made AI model. So the bottom picture shows a diagram of how it works, and it gets the API gets the original audio file from the speaker, transcribes it from speech to text, then translates the text, and then from text to speech sends it to the receiver, which is really cool to me. And you have this sort of technology on your dispose through just a simple API call. And actually setting up this in your application might sound hard, but it's actually really straightforward. It's only a few environment variables, setting up the connection with Azure, and then building the API requests as per the documentation uh, they publicly list. And in about 2 hours work, me and Boyan had instant translation in our application just like that. Really easy, really simple to do. So while building this, we actually decided that after setting up the translation, we wanted to have an AI tutor to be present with all the users all of the times. So probably now you're thinking, this is nothing new. I have seen chatbots on every company website I have visited so far, but this is the start where we made it interesting and actually useful for our users. Um, Now to explain it, basically we decided to go with the OpenAI GPT-4 model. We created that resource in Azure, built the API call and the application, built a simple GUI, and we had an AI language tutor in our application. Now, with almost less than a day's work, every user in our application could talk in their selected language with the whole world, while an AI tutor was constantly by their side, trying to help them improve on their mistakes and learn. And the users learn how an actual native speaker would sound, saying the same things they are in regular day conversation. So the users, while having fun, chatting and socializing, they're learning how really to speak the language that they chose to learn. So this idea for me sounds really fun and really interesting. But while developing, we quickly ran into well, it's not a problem, but uh, when using these pre-built models from Azure AI, you're basically using REST API calls, which are stateless, and the model has no memory of the previous messages that have been sent. So this created a problem in our application where the tutor didn't know the abilities or the level of knowledge of our user, and it gave generic responses that weren't that helpful for any of us. And this is why we needed to somehow find a loophole through this and give this AI tutor memory. And for this, we implemented it with Semantic Kernel and Azure Vector Database. Now I will let the floor back to Boyan so he can tell you about this in more detail. So Boyan.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Marco, for the wonderful opening of the technical part of this event, in which you explained basically what is Azure AI, what are the technologies behind it, and how we can utilize Azure AI for different types of real world scenarios. So yeah, it was really amazing and also thoughtful of your side to explain this in the simplest possible manner. Now, what I would like to continue with is something more deeper. Now, I would like to mention how we can solve the problem that Marco stated with the stateless API calls that we send to the OpenAI models, in which they simply don't have any memory and they do not know how to respond to the user in for their previous conversations. So when we talk about AI, we usually expect to understand this. But have you ever wondered how it actually remembers what we say or finds the right answers so quickly? So basically, the answer is in these two technologies, the Azure AI Search and the Semantic Kernel. So, what is Azure AI Search? So, let's think of Azure AI Search as Bing for your data, basically like searching from for keywords, searching for something that you want, and Azure AI Search, based on those keywords, finds that data and gives you insights on how to use this data. So basically, it helps to find different types of information in stored in documents, notes, databases, and many other kinds of storages. And also, it doesn't just search words, but it actually searches for meaning. Also, Azure AI Search can be integrated with Azure OpenAI, as Marco mentioned, and also Semantic Kernel, which we'll see next. And it's the foundation for RAG models, in which the model retrieves facts before generating a response. So I would not go any more deeper than this. I would just like to give you an insight of what we're going to see later. And I think I've tried to explain the most simple way for all of you to understand, so that we can continue with semantic kernel. So semantic kernel is basically the brain of this all operations. Why? Because now we can imagine that the AI needs something so that it will remember the facts that Azure AI Search has given to the model. So what does semantic kernel do? Is basically it not only it's like the brain of, as I said before. So it's like the brain of the of your system, and basically it keeps track of what you said before, and also it uses that memory to make the replies even better. So it's somehow a very good tool if especially if you're developing a chat bot, for example, or learning language bot, in which you need and so the AI bot needs to remember what the user has previously said in order to continue the conversation and help the user achieve what it wants. So basically, it's a very useful function, and it not only remembers what you have said, but it can also plan on what you can do next. For example, deciding on what info you should look up to summarize something or respond quickly. And similarly to Azure AI Search, it can also work perfectly with Azure OpenAI and also with Azure AI Search, especially when it comes to memory-driven AI agents. And now we get to the part in which we combine these two. So can they really work together? Well, the answer is yes. Why? Because let's imagine these scenarios. So semantic kernel we mentioned as the brain. The Azure AI Search we can mention is the library. So basically, the Azure AI Search contains all the knowledge. It gives it to the semantic kernel, which processes the knowledge and then tells the AI bot what to do and how to respond to the user. It's that simple. And now you will get the question, okay, but aren't these two technologies hard to implement? Are there like any, like stepping stones that you need to jump over, so that it will be your project will be smooth sailing? But the thing is, Microsoft has a really good Microsoft Learn pages about using semantic kernel and Azure AI Search. And those two pages, me and Marco have used them in order to build our application, because they really helped us and really helped us understand the core of what is semantic kernel and then what is Azure AI Search. So I definitely recommend you to go to Microsoft Learn and see how these things can be implemented in code. And also there are manuals that you can look up, and also you can try them even in for example in a playground, so you can test how these two things works. So basically, as you can see on the right side of the slide, there's a small diagram in which you can exactly see what is the flow of the application when you're using these two technologies. Is basically that simple. So without further ado, let's go on to the demo, and let's see how we can implement this in real life. So I'll just stop sharing for a moment so I can share my entire screen so that you can see what I'll be doing right now. So basically, what we'll do right now is take a look of the application that we've built. So basically, yes, this is the learning room of our app, in which the user will have the chance to learn a language while talking to a bot. So we have given a prompt to the bot to be an AI tutor, an AI learning tutor, which will simply, in simple words, it means that he will be a professor, in which he would help you learn a language. So I would not go into the logic and background details. I'll leave that part to Marco. Now I will show you the front end part and how this all looks in real life. So basically, now I will ask Chatty, our online learning bot, to help me with my learning of the Spanish language. So I would ask, firstly, I would introduce myself. So hi, my name is Boyan, and I am currently learning Spanish. And I would say that I I'm currently A2 level, and I need to learn some more vocabulary, let's say. And now he takes a few seconds to think, and he gives me a response. So even he starts, as you can see, the first sentence in Spanish. So it says, "Hola, Boyan, es un placer conocerte." And it's great that you're learning Spanish and focusing on expanding your vocabulary at the A2 level. So now it gives you suggestions on what you can work for. For example, food, travel, everyday phrases. So let's see. I would ask him, okay, I would like to be able to order food in a restaurant. Now, he would take a few seconds again and he would respond me. So, as you can see, he gives me suggestions and phrases on how I can order food, for example. And as you can see, there are a lot of different suggestions that you can find here. Now let's test how semantic kernel and Azure AI search help with this. So now I'll ask him, hey, do you remember my name and what language I learned? So now the magic happens. Voila. So basically, because of semantic kernel Azure AI search, the AI bot is now we are not only sending just simple stateless API calls. Now he knows that my name is Boyan, that I'm learning Spanish, and that I'm currently A2 level. And now it even explains to me that what part of vocabulary I'm focusing. So the essential thing here is that it remembers what I have asked him before, like three through chats before, and remembers how to structure the response so that I'll be satisfied as a user when I'm learning the language. So it's just, it's not like learning. For example, today I want to learn a vocabulary and I learn it, and then you go on to the next day, you open the chat, you tell him, okay, let's continue where we stopped, and he was like, but I don't remember where we stopped, and he doesn't have any memory. But that changes with Azure AI search and semantic kernel. So now I would like to give the floor back to Marco so that he could get into the code and the logic behind this application, so it will be more clear how we have implemented this solution. So Marco, the
Yes,
floor is yours.
exactly, Buan. Thank you. This was a wonderful demo. So right now, I want to tell you about how exactly we have implemented our logic in our application. So basically, the business needs and how the memory magic happens behind the scenes. So first of all, in our app, we hold information about the native language of each user and the language the user wants to learn. Now, as when Boyan sent a message in the learning room, let's say I went to the store, for example, the backend retrieved his message. The backend got the request. Firstly, it retrieved all the memories about Boyan from our Azure Vector database. Now, these memories, we divided them in three indexes. What the user knows, what Brian knows. He knows Spanish, he knows Macedonian, he's learning present continuous, present simple, he is good at vocabulary and whatnot. What he's learning, maybe some more complex sentences, and what are Boyan's common mistakes. Now, once all that information about Boyan is pulled into our backend, the semantic kernel gets all this data, selects only the relevant memories about Boyan based on what Boyan sent in his message in the learning room. Once semantic kernel selects all these memories, it builds the context about Boyan. It builds that all that he knows, maybe some common mistakes, or maybe he's saying something that he's currently learning. Builds that context, puts the context about what is his native language and what he learns, and then this full request, uh, it is sent to our Azure OpenAI model. Now, once the request comes to Azure OpenAI, the model, first of all, sees its system prompt. This is how we configured the model to behave. We'll show you that in the code later. Then it gets all the memory about Boyan, so all the context. So in other words, the relevant memory, as I said, the languages and the relevant memory is about his knowledge and the languages it needs to speak to Boyan. And with this, the stateless model remembers exactly who is Boyan, who sends the message, and the model knows how exactly he learns, what he struggles with, and how Boyan consumes knowledge on a regular basis most efficiently. And mm, this model, which is stateless, makes a proper response tailored to Boyan so that it fits his all of his needs. So this is the magic that I believe will be super useful to each and every user that uses Chat and Go. So yeah, I would like to show you now some of the code, well, the system prompt to see what we actually wrote to the model. Now, as I can see, if we scroll a bit down, here is our system prompt, and we say your role is to remember reference user past conversations. This is to read the memory once semantic kernel sends it. Um, Level down or level higher, speak in a more professional or more simple language based on the user and how they talk. This is some prompts about how to use the memories and how to work with the memories. I also forgot to mention that upon every message from the user, the the model updates the Azure Vector database knowledge about that user. So if it determines that the user has mastered some topic, it immediately updates the database so the new memories are fresh and the model is not working with stale memories. So now these are some services and logic that we implemented in our application, but we decided not to tire you with that. If you like us to get into line by line details how we implemented it, be sure to write it in the comments or in the chat. We'd be happy to help. But all in all, to summarize what we saw today, we saw the power and possibilities of Azure AI and how much more interesting it gets when you pair it with something as powerful as Semantic Kernel, where you can deploy and deploy and use your custom AI model based on your needs in all your apps that you're building, and all that with just less than a day's work or week's work. So yeah, thank you all for your attention today, guys. It was a pleasure to have you here, and it was a pleasure to share what we have been learning and what have we been doing this summer. If you have any questions, please fire away.
Yes, so now is the time for questions. So if there are any questions that you would like to ask us, anything that you have found interesting or something that caught your eye during the demo or during the theoretical part of the event, so feel free to ask us everything that you would like.
Yeah, yes, please tell us anything that you want to know more. We're happy to answer all your questions. It's basically an app where we want to implement AI to help you learn any language. So basically, our idea is to for people to not be able to not be limited by their languages. They can talk to each other and learn what they have selected. For example, Boyan is learning Spanish and I'm learning German. I'm writing German to Boyan and I'm learning together with my AI tutor German. Boyan receives all my messages in Spanish and he sends messages in Spanish while learning with his AI tutor.
Okay, so we have
Well,
a question.
it yes. So basically,
Yes.
what I'm trying to say, it
Yeah.
can take out all mistakes you make. It really can. But we are trying to implement it as before you send the message, you will have a pop-up saying like, hey, this is not how a native speaker would say that exact sentence, or maybe it would try to say, hey, this grammatical tense is not correct. Maybe you should do it like that. And with those suggestions, you learn through chatting. So basically, if I say I go to the store yesterday, the AI tutor will show a pop-up saying that this is not the correct tense you're using here. Come into the learning room. Let's hold a lesson for this. Let's try to learn it so you improve on it. And then the next time you are writing the same sentence, you will know. But you learn by doing and you learn by using it the correct way. Even if you make a mistake, the AI prompts you to learn about that exact thing that you're missing from your knowledge. Hopefully that explained it a bit more.
Yes, exactly.
Basically, a really interactive way of learning
Yeah.
through real situations.
So basically, I agree with everything that Marco said about how this process works. And I would just like to add, so this is like a separate part of our application that we're still developing it. So it's like a monitoring tool that will help you when you're chatting to improve your mistakes. So it wouldn't, just pop up from nowhere, but it will pop up only when you make a very serious mistake, and
Yeah,
when the learning bot sees that you're continuously making this mistake, and he will be like, okay, just come to the learning room, let's practice this, let's make it clear, and
yeah,
also, like, whenever you have any question about how you should write something, or how you should phrase one sentence, then you can freely ask the learning room. So this is a work in progress still, but we really hope that this everything, it will be packed in one app very soon, and you'll be, one of the users that will be satisfied to use it.
yeah.
Okay, so we
We're
have
really
another
excited to
question.
showcase the full app as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, as Boyan said, it's a constant private tutor for everything you write and say. So you say it better the next time. So yeah, it will be done probably soon, and we're really excited to announce that.
And we also have a question: will AI use the global net to correct mistakes?
Well, probably because
Okay, so
these AI models are trained on the whole internet because, as we know, ChatGPT is trained on the whole internet. So it's basically the global net.
yeah, now with, the boom of AI technology, I think it will not only be able to correct mistakes, but do much more. Maybe make thousands of AI agents that will develop an app in just a couple of minutes, for example, let's say, or I
Yeah,
don't know, like automate processes that were done manually till now. So it's a whole world to be explored, I think. And yes, I agree that there could be wrong information, but that's also a part of AI, which is the ethical part in which the AI will try to select what is true, what is not. So that's also a good point that you've mentioned there. And I really think that it will be a challenge, yeah, but I think it will be overcome as the AI tools are becoming powerful, even more powerful than before. So, I mean, we'll see what the future brings.
yeah. I also want to ask you, the viewer, what do you think about this concept about an application?
You know what? It's interesting that this concept of applications like like Duolingo and such similar apps could be even upgraded to a certain level that will become like even better. And a big thanks to Choa, who says that he really like most part of it. So I'm really glad that you like it, and I really hope that in the near future um, it will be available for you to try. So yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see if we have some other questions. Otherwise, we can make a short reading for all of you that joined us today, because it's a Monday. It's like in Europe, it's evening, so it's kind of late for people to be joining at this time. But again, really thankful that you have all joined for this amazing event. There were just the right amount of people watching online, so I'm really glad that's the case even on Monday evening. So
So yeah, thank you all for joining us and see you in the next one.
yep, thank you guys again. Thanks again for everyone that joined us today, and can't wait to see you on our next event. So be prepared. It will be um, around next month, and we'll publish everything on LinkedIn. And I hope that you will be surprised of what we are preparing for you next. So thank you again, and have a nice evening and also rest of the week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.